In the sun-soaked village of Santorini, not the picturesque Greek island, but rather a small town plagued by crime and poverty, lived a young man named Rufino. The villagers often joked that the town was so forgettable that even Google Maps missed it, but Rufino knew every alley and corner by heart, mainly because he wanted to escape each one of them someday. Rufino was a factory worker by day and an amateur philosopher by night. His musings danced on the border of genius and madness, as his best friend, Paco, liked to say. Rufino always found it amusing that Paco, with his thick accent and slurred words, was the town's unofficial voice of reason. If Paco says don't, it's like receiving divine advice, Rufino chuckled. Rufino lived in a small house with his mother Dolores, a woman whose resilience could be compared only to the mighty oak refusing to bend in a storm. Dolores could turn even the simplest of beans into a feast for the senses. Many nights Rufino would find solace in her stories of hope and redemption, tales of ancestors breaking free from old curses, much like the telenovelas where long-lost twins exposed evil stepmothers. Determined to break free from the cycle of poverty and crime that gripped Santorini's poorest residents, Rufino often whispered his dreams to the stars. One day, he'd say, "I'll rewrite the story of this town. It will be a place where dreams begin, not where they end." His plan was as bold as a rooster declaring dawn in the middle of the night. He would become a lawyer. The road was tougher than chewing old shoe leather, with obstacles that would deter the most determined optimist. In the midst of studies, a tempting offer came from local bigwig Don Carlos, notorious for creative interpretations of the law. "Work for me," he crooned like a scheming cat, "and your family's troubles will vanish." Rufino's courage was tested like a soap opera protagonist faced with a moral dilemma. Yet, guided by Dolores' unwavering faith and his fanciful conversations with the local priest about hope, Rufino declined, choosing adversity over moral bankruptcy. The community, inspired by his stance, rallied behind him. Paco organized a town-wide fundraiser selling his famous churros, rumored to be a secret weapon against despair. The community's collective effort eventually sent Rufino to law school. Years later, Rufino returned, not only as a lawyer, but as a symbol of hope and redemption. He didn't just rewrite the story of Santorini, he also elevated it. The town flourished with new businesses, a community center, and even a library humorously named after Paco, who swore he'd never read a book in his life. Rufino proved that with courage and determination, even the most forgettable corners of the world could be transformed into stories of hope and redemption. And in doing so, ensured that Santorini, a place not marked on the map, was forever etched in the hearts of its inhabitants.